Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner and welcome to my channel. Today I have a books beside my bed video where I wrap up the last 7 days worth of reading. Most of you are very familiar with the series. If you're new, welcome. I hope that you enjoy it. This will hopefully be a relatively short wrap up because I was reading, actually I think all of the books that I read this week were novellas. So most things were less than like 200 pages long because it's been that kind of week. I've needed short and sharp to hold my attention. That said, I have read a few novels, but they've been part of reading vlogs. So this is my reading week from the 9th until the 16th of October. I'm going to be talking about 5 texts in this video, but on top of that, I've read about 9 new picture books, which I'm going to do a separate video for those. And I've also read 5 additional things for various reading vlogs, which will all be coming out this week, so you'll see them fairly quickly. The stats for this week are the 5 texts, 457 pages, and my total is 414 books for the year. All right, diving into the books. I finally read The Headmaster by Tiffany Rice, which is a, how do I describe it, spooky gothic story set in an all-boys boarding school, and it is perfect for October. And I can't say why because it would be spoilers, but just know it is the perfect book for October. It does have a element of the paranormal woven into it, and it was just an amazing read. I loved it. It is the story of Gwen, who is out of work, moving states in search of a teaching job, and she passes through this small town and she hears about this school, and it's a boarding school, and she decides to try her luck by driving up there and going to see if they have any job vacancies. As she gets there, she's involved in a car accident and she wakes up inside the school. They've taken care of her, she's okay, and she meets the headmaster, Edwin, and the boys of the school, who are very, very endearing. I loved the kids, and I say this a lot, this is the perfect novella. Like, it is the perfect length, it has the perfect story arc, and I'm happy and I'm content with the story because it did what it was supposed to do. But I would not complain if it had been extended out because I just loved these characters so much. Anyway, she gets to know the headmaster and the boys, and she ends up striking up a relationship with Edwin. And then we begin to find out that things are not quite what they seem in this school. It did give me kind of Dead Poets Society vibes in just in terms of the students, and I adored it. Easily, this was my favorite book this week. Then I read The A-List by Evie Mitchell. This is all access 1.5, so it's a novella that takes place sort of concurrently with Not My Type, and it's set during the first scene where Jay is demonstrating shibari with Frankie. And in that scene in Not My Type, we'd heard about all these different other couples who were there for the class as well. And so this novella is the perspective of one of those other couples, and it is a couple from one of her other series, Thor's Shipbuilding, which I actually went back and reread their first story as well, so I'm going to talk about that later on. But it is about Gabby and Rune. They're a married couple, and Gabby has a prosthetic leg, and they decide to spice up their relationship by going to this kink club and exploring the possibility of shibari. And so they're there for the class, they're watching what happens in the character's point of view in Not My Type, so that's where the crossover is, and then their story continues after that. It is short, it is steamy. I'm pretty sure that it was read as part of the Read Me Romance podcast as well. If it is, I will link it down below for you. I really enjoyed it, it was good fun. Then I read In the Bedroom with Medusa by Megan Cube. This is a book that I heard about from Izzy. It is a sapphic novella about the relationship between a woman and a gorgon. This one was, again, very gothic in feel and just perfect for October. So Evelyn works as a companion, and depending on her clients, depends on her role. And she's personally requested by Lady Demetria Velasquez, who has some pretty strict rules around interaction, including the fact that Evelyn won't be able to see her. Like, she wears a veil, and Evelyn works out pretty quickly that there's something going on because underneath the veil she sees movement and so on and so forth. And then eventually Lady Demetria offers her a position as her permanent companion, and the two have this beautiful relationship, and Evelyn is incredibly open-minded and non-judgmental, but there's a lot of things going on around them that really unsettle this relationship that they have. And I really enjoyed it, but again, you know, content warnings, we're talking about a gorgon, so, you know, there's snakes. Just be aware of that. But I can't stand snakes, and I was fine with it. And then I read the first 2 books in Evie Mitchell's Thor's Shipbuilding series. Again, this is where I'm tying in. I'm sort of just slowly reading through Evie Mitchell's backlist because her books are honestly just so easy to read. They're very bingeable, and they're very light and very low angst, which I don't know if you've noticed is a huge trend with me at the moment. So Clean Sweep is the first book in the series, and this one is about Eric and Laura. So the Thor's shipbuilding books follow a family of siblings, of which Eric, the hero of this book, is one. He unintentionally finds himself with twins that he ends up adopting, and you just sort of have to go with it. A lot of these books with Evie Mitchell, you just roll with it and you're fine. So he adopts these twins, and suddenly he's a single dad with twin boys while running a business, and the rest of his life is sort of falling apart. And when one of his family members goes to his house and sees what an absolute disaster zone it is, they end up calling one of his sisters, Liv, who produces reality TV shows and currently has a TV show around cleaning. And that's how he meets Laura, who is the host of his sister's show. And so Laura comes in and she loves cleaning. Her family has been in the cleaning business for a long time. She's non-judgmental about the fact that, you know, the place is a disaster zone, but they go ahead and they use Eric's home for their show. And along the way, Eric and Laura fall in love, and it's short and it's sweet. It was just gorgeous. It makes me want to be a better cleaner, although that will probably never happen. And then The X List is the first book for Gabby and Rune. So Gabby and Rune, who are in the A list, this is the story where they get together. So Rune is Eric's youngest brother, and he runs a bookstore and is very different to the rest of his siblings. He likes his solitude, he's not very outgoing, and Gabby is hired to work for Eric's shipbuilding company as an apprentice, and she ends up moving in next door to Rune. So the two have that neighbours, grumpy sunshine, forced proximity sort of thing going on. As I said earlier, Gabby has a prosthetic leg, and so there's a lot to do with how she manages that, which was great. And then you have Rune, who ends up finding out that Gabby doesn't enjoy reading for fun, and obviously he runs a bookstore, so this is horribly offensive for him, and so he convinces her to join in a readathon for a good cause and starts giving her romance book list recommendations, which is great because there were some books that were recommended in the story which I have added to my list. So it was fun. Again, short, sweet, you sort of just roll with the story and you're good. All right, so those are the books that I read this week. Stay tuned. I'm going to have a Friends Choose My TBR reading vlog this week, and also my Kindle Unlimited catch-up readathon vlog coming out. So plenty more books that you'll hear about this week, and I'm having a ball with what I'm reading at the moment. So it's okay to go through seasons where you just want light fluffy and things that, you know, you'd sit there and go, okay, that's totally unreasonable and unrealistic, but you know what, we're gonna roll with it because that's what I need at the moment, and that's where I am. In the comments, let me know if you have read any of these books or if you're planning on picking any of them up. If you want to let me know that you're here but you don't want to leave a comment, feel free to leave any kind of school-related emoji in the comments. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, everyone.